Okay, right. Any questions? I'd like to open the session, all right, the discussion to anyone wants to ask question with regards to the Akta itself. Akta clear?
Clear.
All right.
Clear, madam.
Oh, lovely. All right, thank you. All right, now what we are doing, we are only looking into the interpretation. All right. Okay, now we are looking into the offenses. Baru kesalahan dia. Unauthorized access to computer materials. All right, unauthorized, what section involve unauthorized? Subsection 5 and subsection 8. Now, in the computer crime, in exam, I noticed in my previous class of teaching this subject for the last 10 semesters, all right, okay, I noticed student will write section 5, section 8. It's not section 5, section 8. It's supposed to be section 2, subsection 5, and section 2, subsection 8. Pandai tuliskan? You can write it, right? Okay, so unauthorized there, okay, the word unauthorized on the top of that, quickly write, all right, cross refer to section 2, subsection 5, and subsection 8, right? Okay, now the offense is like this. A person shall be guilty of an offense if he causes computer program to perform any function with intent to secure access. Now, for the first time, you see this word, with intent to secure access to the program or data. And that's the first one. What do we call it in the terminology of Latin? What is this? Intent. Intent is mens rea of the crime. Betul, Diana?
Yeah, that's right.
Apa dia?
Mens rea.
Mens rea. All right. So sometimes, I'm not going to ask you this question in exam, but sometimes when you have a discussion with other people just to test whether you are clever enough in the forensic, they will ask you what is the element of crime in the section 3. Element of crime is mens rea and
Actus rea.
Actus rea.
yes, thank you. Actus reus. Not rea.
Betul.
Actus
Betul.
reus. Ya, saya.
Okay. I want to ask, if in exam, that's it. That you said the section that people supposedly write section 2 in the bracket subsection 5, but we wrongly write section 5. Then what if the explanation is correct with the question, but we only wrong to write the section? Is it we still get full mark or half mark, or we don't get anything mark? I didn't get anything mark.
You didn't get anything.
Oh really? Okay.
Because section 5 and section 2 subsection 5, right, in bracket as you said, is the correct section. If you can't be given marks because when you write section 5 and you look at section 5, the explanation is different. So you are wrong in the number of the section, you are wrong in the explanation of the section, right? So that's why
Madam.
Yes, saya Aimi.
Madam, actually the explanation based on the section, right?
The explanation is based on how you how you describe the section and then applied it to the facts given in the question.
Oh, okay. So if example we put section 2, subsection 5, so we need to explain about that section. If you wrongly stated, so no marks, something like that.
Macam ni. It's very difficult to cut short the answers. All right. You have to, let's say you are referring to, you want to say the behavior of Rohani meet the description in section 2 clause 5 as an unauthorized person. You see, that sentence like that are good. So you have connected Rohani, the facts of the problem, into the sections 2 clause 5, but it's not enough. You need to then say that according to that section, unauthorized person is a person who have intent to secure access over the computer and then meet the description of unauthorized, which is modification lah, alter ke, erase ke. Can you see? Can you see the different how?
Yes, yes.
If you write it that way, number one, you identify orang tu siapa according to the facts, selalu ada nama orang tu. Nombor dua, section kat mana he is described. Dekat sini she is described as unauthorized. So you know that is the section 2 kurungan 5. Alright, unauthorized or 2 kurungan 8 tadi. Okay, tapi you have to then kata the act of unauthorized is therefore through modification. Bukan modification in the meaning of section 8, bukan in the meaning of section 5. Apa beza section 8 dengan section 5? Apa beza section 8 dengan section 5? Section 8 unauthorized sebab dia tak ada access dan dia tak ada consent. Tapi dekat section 8, alright, unauthorized because he is not the right person. He is not the person, he is a person who causes it, it's not himself entitled. Dia tak ada entitlement. Tadi dia tak diberi, ni dia tak ada entitlement. Maybe dia job, dia kata dia boleh buat modification, tapi he was not being given consent. But in 8, he is not the person who can do modification. Can you see the difference? That's why you have to then bukan summarize, to take the gist of the section into your paragraph for you to get a good mark there. Dan kalau dia, katalah Rohani tadi, made an attempt to modify by erasing some part of the program, then you have to mention section 9, where section 9 kata all the problems that is happening if you commit part of the program. So part of a program of a computer is mentioned in section 9. So your sentence would be that Rohani is the person you identify to be the person who is committing an offense in the form of modification, part of it which falls within section 2, clause 5, clause 8, clause 9. Tu kalau you nak put it in such a way, because you have explained it, then you relate it with the section. All right, give it a breather a minute, think about it and ask me questions. All right, Aswan and siapa tadi? Amy.
Yes, madam.
Boleh? Faham? Boleh? Jelas?
Boleh, Pak.
Boleh nak
Faham.
Alhamdulillah. All right, okay. Now let me continue. You can always interrupt me anytime. Jangan tunggu saya habis. Alright. Okay, baca. Unauthorized access. 3. A person shall be guilty of an offense if he got an intent to secure access. Number 2, he intend to secure the access he intend, he is an unauthorized person. And he knows at the time when he causes the computer to perform the function, that is the case. What is the case? What? That he is guilty. He knows that he is guilty. Know that he is guilty with intent to secure, and he is unauthorized person. The person have commit what we call as unauthorized access to computer material. Ni tuduhan dia ni. Jadi, if you were to write to introduce propose a charge, you would say Rohani is a person, all right, she has intention to secure access by acting to modify. That makes her when she is unauthorized, and she knew that she not supposed to use the computer or make that attempt. That makes her guilty. Therefore, she is a person who have commit offense of unauthorized access to computer materials. Kat mana yang computer materials dia? Dekat A. Dekat when she access the program or the data, knowing that she is not authorized. Okay. Saya lepas tu 2, the intent of a person has to commit. Number subsection 3(2), you have to write what over there? You have to write the description of mens rea. Over the atas, you have to, you see in 3(1)(a), the intent is to secure. But the intent is to secure is further described in subsection 3(2). All right, the intent a person to have to commit an offense, all right, need not be directed to, okay, any particular data or program, okay, right, a program data of any particular kind, right, mesti ada nama jenis the softwarenya, a program data held in the particular computer. All right, you see, okay, your intent to, it doesn't have to be directly to the data, particular things. As long as you at random clicking here and there, changing here and there, you are not authorized. You are already in the offense of unauthorized access to computer materials. Sometimes you don't have to go far. In your desk that you are working, you can get the data. For example, you just simply want the data of the address from the account because you like the girl who comes in front and you want to know more. You want her to be your daughter-in-law. For example, you want to do that. You want to ask her for address, that will be too much. You look at her IC that she handed over, she lives in Timbuktu. But you wanted to know where is her recent address. So, all right, what do? You click into and look into the address of this customer because in front of you, you got her to put her thumbprint on the site for authorization. So that kind of authorization, it's not because you're not authorized, not that she is not authorized. She gives the authority, but you're not authorized to look into her advice. So in that way, the unauthorized access to computer materials has taken place. You have committed an offense under section 3(1). All right. So the description 2, right next to subsection 2, description of mens rea. Some situation we don't have the description of mens rea, but over here you have. Right, let's look into 3. A person guilty of an offense under this section shall, on conviction, be liable to a fine not exceeding 50,000 ringgit or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years. That is the maximum. All right, the fine is 50,000 ringgit. Okay, ACTA like this, when it has no objective, it just want to meet, all right, the description of a crime. Usually this ACTA like this is because an ACTA that needs to come in very quickly to capture some offense. Yeah, all right. So nanti COVID punya ACTA pun it has to come in very quickly to meet the certain description. Usually it's just want to be read in line or to meet the objective of catching an offender at that particular period. So selalunya dia tak ada, it doesn't have an objective clarification. All right, okay, boleh? Okay, right, we have completed this. Nanti next to this section, unauthorized access, the most important is the punishment. What will be the punishment? Fine and also imprisonment. Right, the amount is 50,000 ringgit. Okay, now next one. Any questions with regards to the first one? Anyone?
Oh.
Thank you. Let's look into satu lagi, last one, number 8. 8, yeah? All right, let's look into subsection 8. Any modification referred in subsection 7 is unauthorized if the person who acted, causes it, it is not himself entitled to determine whether the modification shall be made. Meaning that he is not a person who can make modification. So he made modification, therefore he is unauthorized, right? Jadi he does not have consent to do the modification and he did the modification. So he is unauthorized, all right? Okay, so therefore what he was saying was, what 7 was saying was, so a person who modifies, it becomes a person with a, all right, with a right to modify. So if a person who is not having an authority to modify, he falls in the category of unauthorized. Therefore, your classification of unauthorized number have grown daripada bigger, yeah, bigger from section 5 must always be referred to situation in subsection 8. Therefore, next to subsection 8, you have to write cross refer to subsection 5. Next to subsection 5, you write next to it says cross-refer to subsection 8 below. Right, so next time you don't miss anything. Boleh? Alright. Yeah, okay.
Boleh.
Thank you. So next one is for okay, a reference in this act to a program includes a reference to the part. Just simply change one part saja. All right, it's also considered as participating in the unauthorized act or modification. All right, and 10, a reference in this act to a computer includes a reference to a computer network. Right, jadi part of a program meaning that data is involved, part of a computer program meaning that programmer and program is involved or a system is involved. Yeah, all right.